The Jacquerie was a violent peasant revolt in northern France in 1358, during the Hundred Years' War, named after Jacques Bonhomme, a common name for peasants. The revolt was fueled by widespread social discontent following the devastating effects of the Black Death, 1347 to 1351, crippling taxes, and the pillaging of French lands by both English and French soldiers. The uprising began in May 1358, shortly after a humiliating defeat at the Battle of Poitiers, 1356, where King John II of France was captured by the English. France was left in a state of political chaos and vulnerability. The nobility, in an effort to defend their own interests, imposed higher taxes on the peasants, worsened by the economic hardship caused by war and famine. The French peasantry had been heavily taxed and forced to bear the financial burden of the war. They were also subjected to unpaid labor, which intensified their grievances. Bands of mercenaries and soldiers ravaged the countryside, looting and destroying farms, worsening the peasants' plight. The French monarchy was in disarray after the capture of King John II. The regent, the Dauphin Charles, later Charles V, was struggling to maintain control. The revolt started in the Oise Valley, north of Paris, when peasants in the village of Saint-Leu-d'Esserent attacked the local nobility, setting fire to manors and killing aristocrats. It spread rapidly across Picardy and other regions in northern France. The peasants were mainly seeking to avenge years of exploitation and abuse at the hands of the ruling class. The rebels, numbering in the thousands, led by a minor noble named Guillaume Caille, or Callet, aimed to overthrow the feudal system and sought revenge on their lords. The nobility retaliated with great brutality, and many peasants were killed as both sides engaged in violent clashes. In June 1358, the Jacquerie met its end when Charles II of Navarre, Charles the Bad, allied with the nobility, tricked Guillaume Caille into negotiating peace. Caille was captured and executed, and the revolt was brutally suppressed. French nobles, supported by professional soldiers, massacred tens of thousands of peasants, destroying their villages and reasserting control. The revolt was crushed within a few months, but the violence of the repression left deep scars in French society. The Jacquerie highlighted the intense social divisions between the peasantry and the nobility, but it did not result in any meaningful reforms. Peasant uprisings continued sporadically, and the underlying tensions persisted throughout French history. The Jacquerie remains one of the most notable examples of medieval peasant revolts, emblematic of the profound social unrest of the period, worsened by war, plague, and feudal exploitation.